Good morning, creatives! Do you want to make your own film, feature film? Are you ready to start getting your words out to the world? Well, our couple, Kim Reed and MichaelStarr, are here. They made their first feature, Cicada Song. I'm going to let them tell you how much they made it for, but it is playing on Amazon Prime and they have foreign distribution. They are pretty awesome. Let me get them on the line. Sometimes we have some creative things bubbling in our heads, and we're like, I just want to make that. And so we have a power couple with us today, you guys. How many of you are actually trying to get your own features made? Put that in the chat. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Hi, I'm trying to get Reb on the line. Usually it just takes a little bit of time. I'll keep trying. Reb is unable to join. So we'll see how that goes. And you guys, Lovey, I see you. Put it in the chat.
Hi.
Yay, there's Rebecca. And
I
now
have
we're
a
gonna
different
get
setup
Kim
here.
on the line, and they're gonna tell us about this beautiful film, Cicada Song, that they made on their own, written and directed by MichaelStarr, starring Kim. Well, starring, right, Kim? Well, I say star because you're my friend and you're a star too. But supporting lead, Kim Reed. They produced it together. Welcome, you guys.
I'm so glad you guys are here, and I'm so glad it worked.
It worked.
Amazing.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we had never done, we've never had 4 boxes. So.
We've never done 4 boxes.
Exciting.
So Kim, before we don't do anything, tell us about your mug, because you mentioned it to me when we were on the,
Oh, she has a special mug.
She does.
I have our Cicada Song mugs. This was a gift from my sister, who is also someone who helped us on the executive producer side. Amazing. So yes, we depended very much on friends and family, but this was one of our Christmas gifts to us. And so it's just kind of like our morning coffee and remind us of our accomplishment. And
celebrating.
Thank you. Thanks, Jess.
And manifesting, right?
Yes. Yes. We always talk about, like, put it out in the world, celebrate. So you guys, I wanna take a half step back, right, and talk about Cicada Song and how that came to you and when the decision was we are going to make this, as opposed to putting it out on the market and selling it and getting it made. And then we'll go back to your origin story.
So yeah, Louisa always talks about how the cavalry is not coming. She mentioned
they're not,
and so sometimes we take matters into our own hands and we just make things happen. So we want to hear a little bit about the process of that, or the evolution of the movie and how that.
Sure. I guess I'll start. So basically, we had another film that we were planning on doing. It was a little bit more than we could bite off. We had a star attached. We didn't necessarily know if we could raise the finances, and you just kind of have to work within your wheelhouse. So I just said, okay, well, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this one, so I'm going to write something a little bit smaller that we can do. And essentially I talked to Kim and said, I'm going to talk to Lindsay, because Lindsay and I had also worked together at, she was an actor at USC. Kim was an actor, and I was part of an elite group of students that were, I guess, student assistants to directors at USC. So we'd organize rehearsals and the classes, and we'd worked with directors, personally. And I don't mean like student, I mean like industry directors, people that directed TV and film and all that stuff. So it was a good experience. But Lindsay and I had worked together in the past. Kim and I, obviously, you know, we work together all the time. And I asked Lindsay, I just said, you know, if you could do anything you want to do, what would it be? And she'd like to do a survival film. So we had already kind of decided that was where we're going to go. But then the whole point was, all right, well, it's really expensive to get property in California. She says, might have somebody in Missouri that could help us out, and he's got a farm and he knows everybody. And so it just got to the point where it was like, all right, well, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write a concept and bring in Lindsay and Kim to kind of start helping us, you know, helping the film develop their characters. You know, we kind of wrote the story together. You know,
did you write it inspired around the farm in Missouri, or was it?
It was, you know, initially it was not written around that. It was more about just getting the story on the page.
Okay.
You know, kind of getting the mystery out there, figuring out, you know, it's like, okay, so if we have a farm that might be available to us, then we'll write it around the farm. Mm-hmm. You know, right for
if you have a location, it's best to try to put the story in that location if you can get it for free. I mean, that's the
that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, what do I have access to, right? Yeah, my dad has a law firm. I could probably use his offices on the weekends or whatever. So I love that you were able to make that pivot, right? You know, that you weren't so tied to where you had originally imagined the story.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you hear write what you know, but this is kind of like shoot where you can.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like we actually, you know, I said, okay, once we had enough, once the script was in a good place, you know, I was like, all right, great. The story is as good as the story is going to get. Now I need to go and start looking at the areas, you know, shoot in.
Right.
Literally, when we got out there, my producer, or co-producer, Tom, he's actually, you know, producer on the film. I just kind of got the ball rolling, started getting the financing together, but I didn't do that until I knew that I had at least locked in about 8 locations.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. And also, you know, we didn't cast anything until we knew that we had a place to shoot. And the only people that were actually cast were Kim and Lindsay. Mm-hmm. You know, and that was kind of where we started. But then it was going out to Missouri. Tom lives in St. Louis, so I stayed in St. Louis, and then we drove out to New Haven, Missouri, which is basically, they refer to themselves as the as a blueberry in a strawberry pie.
Wow. Oh, okay.
They're basically a bunch of retired hippies, and
they're awesome.
They're awesome. So essentially what ended up happening was we ended up spending the week on the farm at Jim and Michelle Wesselschmidt's house, and they basically bartered with me to shoot their son's wedding, and I can have the farm as long as I want it.
Oh my God, that is.
Right? So essentially, it got to the point where it was like, and then on top of that, Jim, his family has been in Haven for about, I think, they've been there for over 200 years.
Wow.
So he is kind of Demea in that.
Yeah.
So he took us to people's homes, bars, restaurants.
Hold on, allergies. Sorry.
You're good.
Just everywhere that you could possibly imagine. And he would be like, these guys want to make a movie. Okay, you guys are up. So Tom and I would basically talk to people, and we'd say, look, we're a low-budget indie film. We don't have a lot of financing, but, you know, we're happy. Do you like wine? Do you like, you know, what can we give you in return for, you know, a day or a night of your time?
Yes.
Most people, you know, they're not based in LA. It's exciting for them when a film comes in and, you know, doesn't have a lot of money, but definitely needs space. I mean, by the end of the shoot, some of the people were giving us bags of garlic from their farm, and
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna have Thanksgiving with people for years to come or something.
Yeah.
no,
Hey, so generous.
I mean, we were lucky enough to have Jim as our tour guide because everybody knows and trusts Jim.
Yeah.
So good enough for Jim, it's good enough for them, and including the chief of police, and the New Haven police and some of the surrounding areas allowed us to use their police officers because we did write a letter to New Haven asking for permission to use the police. They basically put us in the newspaper saying local film wants to use New Haven police officers, and but they allowed it.
I love it.
They let us
I
do
love it.
Amazing.
to get real police officers with riot gear and all that stuff. It was pretty intense, and all in all, it was coming back to LA with the idea that when we went there, it was like, how are we going to make this movie on such a small budget? And then as we were leaving, Tom and I were saying, how could we not?
Right.
Yeah.
The generosity was amazing out there, and everybody was so friendly.
Yeah, our love lies in central Missouri.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and so most of our people are writers, right? We have filmmakers, we have singers, we have musicians, we have all the creatives. What I love about this is all the pivots, right? All the pivots, rewriting the characters so that they fit Lindsay and Kim, and really taking the time once you had the locations to really fine tune it and craft it, right? Like, because that's the part that happens. Like, when you're selling something, that happens, but it happens without you, right? Like, they look at what they have accessible and they make rewrites. That's either a director or they bring in another screenwriter. I love that you guys were able to make those pivots, right? So talk to us about, you've got your locations, right? You're casting, and now you have to uproot and go live in, middle America for a week or two. Like, what was that like?
Well, and to piggyback on that too, like, is it a blessing or a curse to wear all the hats, right? Because you're basically wearing all the hats, the actors, the director, the writer, the producer, you're just, switching. So
multiple questions going on there. First of all, just so you know, I mean, there was, the script was not something that was just like, oh, we wrote it down, it was fine, and oh, we'll change a couple of things here. We went through 26 drafts. I mean, we made sure that script was solid before we looked for anything. But we did, one of the things Michael called me about, he had specifically written one of the descriptions as a small mom and pop convenience store with 2 gas pumps out the front. That was something that he just imagined as he was writing. And when he was in Missouri location scouting, he drove by one and went, oh my gosh, it's a mom and pop place with 2 gas pumps. So they got out and they went in store and they wanted to know who the owner was. They ended up speaking to the owner, who was Cowboy, his name was Cowboy. And he used to produce rodeos, but
amazing.
Michael ended up meeting him and he became quite a champion of the film as well too. So, things kind of just fell into place in that aspect as far as, so some of the locations we adapted, some of them were right there for us, which is why Michael said, how can we not make this film?
Right.
That was the thing.
Hold on.
I don't know what happened. You're there.
You cut out, Mike.
You cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you're
My back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. I got a spam call. So, Cowboy ended up giving us not only his mom and pop shop, but he also convinced the local realtor to use their store. He basically said, anything you need, just let me know. And not only, it was my car and our DP Ryan's car where we had all the equipment stored in. And he looked at our situation and he said, you guys need a grip truck? And Ryan was like, yes.
Wow.
I don't think we can afford a grip truck. He goes, just gas it up when you return it to me and it's good enough.
Wow. So the generosity was huge here, right?
It was amazing.
Couldn't have made the movie without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that goes to say too, like we were talking about this in another group last night, just about networking, and you just never know who's going to be able to help you or who's going to, you know, like just, I don't know. Everybody.
Well,
wants
I think it's
part
your
of something.
passion, right?
Yeah,
Like your passion for your project shines through, right? And I happen to know you personally are very good people. And so,
and that matters.
And that matters, right?
It does matter.
Like it does. You are kind individuals and you have passion for this piece. And so I can imagine that that's infectious, that people want to be a part of something where the people making it are excited and passionate about it.
Right. So it's like you don't go in and take over the town. You go in and incorporate the town into the movie. Then it's like a joint project now of the whole town.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's a memory that all of you will treasure. I know that sounds cheesy, but
yeah,
love cheese. Love cheese.
Still friends with those people. I mean, people, you know, they housed our actors on rotation for 12, 13 days. You know, I mean, it was unreal, you know.
Yeah.
But to answer the other part of your question, which what was the first part of your question?
Multiple hats.
Yeah, multiple hats.
So here's the thing, right? You know, you've got a small film. You can't have 50 people on set. You know, you've got a very small, setup. You're basically running all over this, the state shooting things. So, having a crew that's small, you are going to wear multiple hats. But if you at least know your main role. So, Kim's main role was acting. And then she would come in as an executive producer and start producing when she wasn't acting. And we had that with some other cast members that would literally pick up some stingers or some, C-stands, start moving things around because everybody wants the same thing, And we hired a lot of first-timers. So it was more exciting for them. And, we were able to kind of do a bargain rate for their services, So,
Steve Blum ended up helping out a lot too. We had a couple of actors. Meredith helped out as well too. So yeah, these are actors that were there, but also were helping load in, load out. I held a boom at one point. Someone ran and got food at another point. It was just like everyone was pitching in to make this happen.
So it becomes like a community effort almost. Like
it really does.
It takes a village, right?
Yeah.
We had that village.
Does.
Well, and
it takes a village, and your village worked you guys into yet another award-winning and a festival, right? So you guys just recently, or was it a while ago, won Best U.S. Drama.
Wow.
At
Catalina. That was early on, right?
Well,
Highland Park, right? You just won best feature,
Best
right?
in Fest.
Best in Festival.
So tell us where we can find Cicada Song, because I know we talked about this before, that it's streaming all different places, or maybe a few of them, so that people can find it, we can watch it.
Yeah, it's currently it's on like 7 platforms.
Nice.
Amazon Prime, which will take you to IMDb because they're owned by the same. Apple TV,
Google Play,
Tubi. If you don't, most of these are, I think Tubi, Google Play, Vudu, Amazon, they're all free to watch with commercials, obviously. Want to pay for the film, then I think YouTube Plus actually has it too. But I do know that Apple charges, and I think if you don't want commercials, there's options to a pay-per-view.
Yeah, we also have the DVD and the Blu-ray available, which you can find through the website, cicadasongmovie.com. And that has some background. We actually did some interviews with the composer, Alex, with the sound designer, Greg, with the cinematographer, Ryan, with, I mean, and a lot of the cast members as well too. So there's like a little, an extras video that's attached that kind of goes more into depth on how we created the thing. And
amazing. And that would be good for our community because, you know, we're all here trying to do all the things.
Do all the things. And then you also started doing some vignettes, right? Like you did like just little mini, like I don't want to say trailers, but just little mini vignettes that you were releasing on social media too, right?
Yeah. So just for the record, you can buy the discs on Amazon. You can get discs on, I think, most retail booksellers and DVD. So B. Dalton, Walden Books, Borders, Amazon. I think Amazon definitely has it. And there is a DVD and a Blu-ray. The Blu-ray actually has the screenplay on it.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Otherwise, you can't put a screenplay on a standard def thing. It just doesn't look good. So,
yeah, Michael also authorized the disc. He put it all together as well too, and got it to our distributors.
Talk about all the hats, like all the hats.
I love it.
Amazing. You know, tell us a little bit about this working together as a husband-wife team. Like I'm sure there's positives and, you know, challenges, but I'm curious like what that involves. We have some people on the call right now who do that also in their producing and their writing and things like that. It sounds like you guys complement each other, not give compliments, but complement each other very well. You know, like you have your various wheelhouses and then you overlap, but tell us a little bit.
Yeah, talk about different hats. Yeah.
Go ahead,
darling.
I don't want to cause problems, but maybe you stay in different houses in Missouri. I don't know. Like, you know,
we actually did. We stayed in different locations, and you know, there were days when I would come on the set when I was acting, and you know, people would come up and I'd be like, acting today, please, please. But inevitably, I'd be dragged away to do something producer-wise. So it was very difficult. To wear both of those hats. They didn't fit on my head simultaneously. But, you know, the days where I came in where I wasn't on the call sheet that day, I was able to pitch in wherever it needed.
Yeah. So just so you know, so on the set, Kim had the luxury suite at the farm. And I stayed with
I feel like I've stirred up trouble here, but
and I stayed with my brother and Blum. It was a sleepaway camp that we rented. You know, we rented 3 rooms.
That's amazing.
And
I love that.
It was like $150 a night for 3 rooms.
That's amazing.
And we shot all the wooded stuff right outside the
Camp Trinity.
Did it come with
in Missouri?
The
that was the name of it.
Like
yeah.
Did it come with the diluted fruit punch?
Bug juice.
Yeah, the bug juice.
Yeah.
There were some
sorry, you brought me back nostalgically, so I was like in the moment there. So.
Yeah, but I think it was more about, you know, for Kim and I, it was more about the prep because, you know, most of the time we didn't really connect as much on set unless, you know, she was handling a lot of the business. I couldn't concentrate. So, you know, we're grateful for her dedication and service to film.
I had to deflect. I tried to deflect things away from him so he didn't have to deal with it and could focus on capturing what needed to be captured in the film. He didn't need to know about, you know, things that were going wrong in the background, somebody needing earplugs, you know, it was just
right.
It was,
and of course, you know, Tom was there from the beginning, and we brought John in, Kellogg, to kind of keep things in the office moving. You know, he was basically keeping everything moving legally. You know, Tom was our set guy, and you know, made sure that things got done, and then you know, kind of delegated. But I think you know, kind of nailed it.
I think Lindsay called John the zombie or something because I don't think he slept at all. He was the robot. He was the robot. John Kellogg, the robot producer.
It's so great to hear about all of the collaboration that went on, like in all the levels. Like, you know, you guys were pinch hitting for each other. You had the community helping, and one person after the other just showed up to help make this happen.
I think you actually just described independent filmmaking.
Yeah.
It is collaborative. You have to collaborate. You know, if you go in as a director who thinks they're going to make, you know, Terminator 2, and, you know, you're like, nope, you're doing that wrong, you're doing that wrong, this is wrong, this all needs to be, you know, you need to let people do their job. But second of all, if you hire people that do their jobs better than you do their jobs, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you're going to come in and make adjustments. You know, if the camera's too high or too low, you know, or you want to move it to the right or to the left, or, you know, that's totally, you know, cool. But if you say, look, I want a beautiful film to your DP, you know, I want it to look like it cost a lot more money than we actually are spending, chances are he's gonna do a great job, because, you know, you're gonna hire the right person for the job.
Right.
And that was Ryan Griswold was our DP, and he actually won Best Cinematography at the Glendale International Film Festival, where also Lindsay won Best Actress. And we did win Best in Fest. So that was our Glendale cleanup. But he brought in Rob and Yancey. He brought a sound guy, Rob, and Yancey Wells, who was amazing.
All on set, man.
Lighting was amazing.
Yeah.
This is so inspiring, because Louisa and I are about to delve into a short together in a few months, and it's just inspiring to see the other side where, you know, you've made it through and you're still smiling and you're excited about it, right?
Yeah.
Call in
And you're
all your
drinking
favors
from your coffee mugs. It's great.
I love it.
You got to call in all your favors too. I mean, we couldn't have done it without the loans from our executive producers, who were just people who believed in us, believed in the project, and just gave us the seed money to get going. Well, all the seeds.
All the seeds.
All the seeds. So blessed. Family and friends. Amazing.
Financing an independent film can be daunting, but, you know, there are certain things you absolutely need. You need insurance.
You need insurance, and it ain't cheap.
Nope.
But it's so important. So.
You need workers' comp on top of that, because if somebody gets injured, you don't want to be liable. If you're using SAG, you know, there are different branches of SAG. So, you know, if you're shooting your movie in the Midwest, call Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, we used Missouri's. Tom and I went to the SAG office in St. Louis, and they were so helpful that they actually helped us film.
Repeat that? I think you blocked out, Michael.
Yeah, you blacked out for the end part. They helped
you do something.
They helped us fill out the paperwork. That's how cool. And then they connected us to Chicago, and Chicago was understanding of our financial situation. And, you know, I signatoried with them, so I was able to use SAG's logo. And, you know, we were able to also because of that, we were able to get Joseph Bottoms. And if you don't know who Joseph Bottoms is, look him up.
Yeah.
because Joseph is awesome.
He was great.
He's been around. He's been in the business since the early 70s.
Nice.
And, you know, I know that he and Kim were discussing their characters while they were prepping for their big entrance.
He's a character. He's awesome. Yeah.
I love it. You guys know Joseph Bottoms. I mean, he was on Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
You know, Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, he brought some fun.
He's been around for a long time. Santa Barbara, the series.
1974 for The Dove.
Right, The Dove.
Yeah, and then he was in The Black Hole, with the one that Disney made.
Yeah.
You know, he's been around. He's a good guy.
So one of our people has asked, one of our wonderful community members, Monica in Canada. Monica, correct me what province you're in.
I think outside of Toronto.
Toronto. And so they just wrapped on a short.
Congrats.
But yeah, so she wanted to know about marketing when it came out? How'd you do that? So it's in the can. You have your amazing editor, you have your amazing sound mixer, you have your amazing
Composer.
composer, and all of that beautifulness came together really nicely. Day one.
Yeah, so easy.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that it happened, you know.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it kind of did, because I knew the people we were working with, and it was just going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, wanted to be a part of it. Once they saw the dailies and what we were doing, it was like, okay. So first and
Jen
foremost,
was the amazing editor on that too. Sorry.
yeah, Jen Bale and Mike Blum, which was Stephen Blum's brother. You know, Mike kind of was a supervising post guy, and he recommended Jen, and she lives up in the area. So yeah, getting to your question. First and foremost, start with a great trailer. You know, put something exciting together, right? Something that you can put on your film freeway, because you're going to submit to festivals, right? You're not going to necessarily do much with the film at first until you get into a couple of festivals, because the laurels on an independent film do mean something. Not so much on a big movie, because nobody really cares about a big film getting into a festival. It's kind of a waste of space, but it'll sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what a lot of these festivals are doing, right? So, you know, they're trying to find the next Spielberg or whatever, but point being is good trailer to start with, and then you basically want to have a really good synopsis, a good log line, something that's going to grab the attention of people that might be interested in programming your film. And once you get into some film festivals officially, you can start posting official selection. You know, you can start putting that on your page. A web page is really good also. You know, just starting with a web page, trailer, something that's going to get people interested. You know, you can put your trailer on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, whatever, but don't give away. You know, you want the mystery of your film. You want to bring people in. And then if you win some festivals, those laurels are going to be, kind of, I don't want to say your golden ticket, but definitely something that people can say, okay, it won this festival, it won that festival.
Right.
For us, we won 3 festivals back to back. And then Indie Rights Movies picked us up to distribute our film globally. So, but we never really paid for a, you know, traditional marketing campaign. All our marketing was through social media, and you know, essentially using the festivals to our advantage to kind of, you know, push. We did pay for some, you know, Facebook posts, Google ads, and things like that, which have been helpful. But really, it's been social media that's been kind of, you know, getting people involved, and word of mouth. The fact that we actually, you know, won Catalina over, you know, 12 films. That, I mean, it was a shock to us, because we didn't think we were going to make the screening. You know, we were below festival, and then one film ducked out, and we were moved up Avalon on a Friday night, and I'm like, who are we opening for? And then
Amazing.
Headliner, and I'm like, what?
That was magic. Catalina was
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
The whole
awesome.
company there was great. Yeah, Rob was awesome. We were very, very, very lucky with that. Ron Trupa, who's the head of it. And he, you know, there's another one who brings in his family too, because his mom and dad that were there to help with the festival is his wife. I'm sure if his kids were old enough, they would have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was another kind of thing that because it was the first festival we got into. And yeah, we were supposed to be just screening online, and then they reached out a couple weeks prior and let us know that something dropped out. They weren't happy with the editing, so they bumped us up into the spot. And so we got as many of the cast. I flew back from New York, because I was in New York City. So I flew back early so I could get on the ferry to get over to Catalina to watch our film on the big screen. It was very exciting. We had a good group from the cast to come along, and a lot of the crew came along as well too. It was magical. And then we had the following week we had Highland Park, which was another amazing group of people there as well too. And that's because it was on the mainland. We had so much support. Like, so many friends came out to see us and just packed the house. It was great.
Oh,
and then
that's so
the week
wonderful.
after that, we had Glendale, where we
Okay.
ended up, winning three of the three awards. It was just, it was amazing.
Our first show, which was really special because we did that extra push.
Yeah.
But that really is we didn't want to go further as far as we were concerned, because if we had a distributor ready to distribute us, that was where, you want to be, because and indie rights is not your typical, predator distributor. Which you have to be careful. There are
be careful of those.
But indie rights is a more like a sales agent distributor. They take 20%. They give you a full market guide on how to distribute your feature. They do have to want to distribute your feature, submit your film, but you may or may not get through depending on what they're looking for. But
Right.
they pick another film of mine, a documentary, also now available on Amazon. And
tell us what it
Very
is.
nice.
it's a documentary. I was trying to do a screenplay for Michelle Talbert, who is her grandfather raced in the inaugural Daytona 500 back in 1959.
Amazing.
But not only did he race in film, not only did he race in the 500, he allegedly won.
Allegedly
what?
Allegedly won. There's a big thing about Lee Petty and all these guys that were big names back then, and here comes this moonshine runner from the hills of Chattanooga that just kicked butt. And but the documentary is about the guys that he raced with, that about the moonshine that was being produced in the 60s all the way into the 70s, because it was a dry state.
Oh, wow.
So,
I grew up in one of those. So
yeah.
And that was not in the
I love
60s.
it.
It was
I
late.
love it.
Can you tell us where we find that and what it's called?
Yeah, it's called It's in the Blood. It's available. I think it's on Roku, Amazon, Tubi, and I want to say Google Play, but I think those are definitely the three that you can find it.
Okay.
Nice.
And so now you have foreign distribution on 2 films right now. Yes?
Well, on Cicada Song, yes.
Okay.
So Indie Rights goes to the Cannes Film Festival every year.
Okay.
And AFM, and they bring their repertoire with them. But what ended up happening last year for Cicada Song was South Korea ended up.
Oh, you cut out. Hold on,
Bam call.
you cut out for a second.
Yeah,
South Korea, and then you cut out.
So South Korea bought us,
He's still
and we did an M&E mix, which I recommend you do right from the beginning. If you don't, M&E mixes, it's music and effects. They take out all the dialogue so that foreign territories can dub your film. But it's just
smart.
Smart
of you to know to do that.
Yeah, but we didn't do that for South Korea. We gave Indie Rights 2 versions of our film. We gave them the theatrical release with subtitles burned in for foreign language, and then we did a clean delivery with no subtitles at all, so that wherever the territory is that they sell it, that territory can put their own subtitles in. So it's literally just planning.
Yeah.
So
Something you
a
don't
lot
think
of
about.
planning, a lot of pre-production planning, a lot of where do we want this to play? What is our end game? with this film, right?
Yeah.
So you
But-
have a lot of balls in the air. You're juggling different projects at different stages, right? So are you when one's finishing, something else is happening? Can you speak a little bit to that, or?
Yeah, you know, you just writing, you just write and write and write. You know, if I show you all the five up there, so those are all either stories that are being written right now or stories I haven't even touched. But you know, I'm working on a film, trying to start financing on a new film right now. I'm finishing up a screenplay, first draft, which, you know, think that it's great because first drafts, as
First drafts are first drafts. Yeah.
first, I
Right.
think Hemingway said, you know, the first draft of anything,
Yeah.
you know, not good.
Yeah.
It's all right, but you make it. You know, the thing is, you do it, you get the first draft down, and then you just go back and hone. And like
And then
I
you
said,
just-
I mean, 25,
Right.
26 versions later, you have something that's producible, something that you can work with, something you're happy with.
And
even then we had to change some stuff in the middle of shooting. You know, we ended up not being able to get a certain location. So we shifted and changed again. So
and it seems to me that as long as you have the strong story, that then when you make those shifts, tell me if I'm wrong, but when you make those shifts, they're not as big a deal because the story's so strong, it stands on its own, and the location, you can kind of adjust things as you go.
Yeah, I think a case in point of that is the way we had to rewrite some of the things in Cicada Song. As we were realizing we couldn't get a certain location, we write the ending of the movie.
we don't want to give it away, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't give
Sure.
it away. I would
But
love for everybody to come and see this beautiful movie.
I back in. So when we left Missouri, we had about a month before we were going to shoot in Los Angeles. Out of our, inside their home kind of thing. We had another location up in Agua Dulce, and we, a couple of other things. But writing the ending of the film, I had to go back in and kind of set that ending up.
Okay.
So it was basically realizing, okay, this is how do I set up the ending throughout the rest of the film? And we've already shot, 70% of it.
Right.
We've shot 70% movie on location, and come in and think about how we're going to end it.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're open and flexible, sometimes it turns out even better. So,
Well, and I think that, that multiple hats is probably what helps. When I was writing my first draft of my short that Luisa's going to direct, Luisa's really good about, no. He's not going to be in a convenience store. He's going to be running on a trail. Like we do a lot of adjusting, but it's because the vision doesn't get lost. It's just the location isn't necessary sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Simpler is the better.
So here's my question for each of you. You both wear a lot of hats. Michael produces, directs, writes, sound mixes sometimes, music, Kim is the real deal. Kim sings, dances, she does theater, she's a voiceover artist, she is a comedian. Yep, she is awesome, right? Which of your hats sparks the most joy?
Oh, that's a good one. Depends on the day, maybe, right?
Could be. I mean,
Kim,
the different hats satiate a different part of your creativity. So it's tricky to say what's the best. I mean, acting, it's you can focus on one thing. So that's probably the something that's a little I don't want to say easier, but it's something that you could it has a more clear focus, whereas all the other ones involve so much more. Producing obviously involves so much more. Writing involves so much more. Singing even involves so much more because you're not only trying to get the notes and also the interpretation. So yeah, they each bring their own joy. Is that a cop-out? Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. I think it's a real,
That's a good
it's a real
answer.
thing. And I think having all those hats actually probably elevates each one of those. Do you agree with that? Like,
Exactly. Like I learned so much about acting through doing the producing, through doing the casting. That was where I learned so much
Right.
in the casting room.
Yes.
It was obvious when the people came in. Jenny was incredible. Rob was incredible. Like and the thing where they say is, oh, they just make that up. But you know, when they walk in the door, if they deliver, then it's intangible. And so that's something that I think has truly helped me in my auditioning as well, too.
Yes.
Michael, how about for you with the hats? Do you have one that an affinity
hat
towards one?
sparks the most joy?
Well, I think the directing hat, for one, because you've already finished the script, which is a joy in itself.
Yeah, that's for sure. Into that.
But you're bringing that script to life, and I feel like seeing it unfold. And here's the thing, you work with actors and you have something in your head prior to casting those actors. You're like, this is how it's going to be said. And then somebody says it some other way or does something that kind of blows your mind, and you're like, I never thought of it that way. That's so much better than what I thought of. And, to me, the collaboration and seeing the characters come to life and the story unfolding in real time, and just creating atmosphere, food, to me, it's the actual making process. That's the most joy for me, because something's happening.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And I love to write. I mean, I can write forever, and it's something I can do, in a very personal space. But it's once again, you finish it. That's the joy. But it's all about the process. You have to enjoy the process of writing.
You gotta like the journey.
Yeah,
right.
To really embark
and the
on
reward,
a career.
And the reward is that the film gets done. If you can finish a movie, congratulations.
Right.
It's
huge.
Tough.
If you can
It's huge.
if you could write a
You
script,
can finish a script. Yeah.
Celebrate. Finish something.
We talk a lot about like savoring the wins, big and small, and the journey along the way, rather than just looking at this like results based whatever. But manifesting our ideas or getting them to fruition, I think that's unparalleled. I think.
And speaking of wins, I just want to make a plug to Rob Tepper's new show on AMC, Dark.
What's it called?
What's it called? I'm gonna write it.
Winds.
Dark Winds.
Dark Winds.
Yeah. Dark Winds. WNDS.
Winds. Okay, blowing. Wind blowing.
Well, it's J.R.R. Martin and Robert Redford producers.
Wow.
Nice.
And Rob is, I think he's a regular on the show.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
This has been amazing
been so
for
great.
our creatives to just see you doing all the things, and we can't wait to watch Cicada Song. Please support,
you guys watch the film. It's so beautiful.
Get the one with the extras where we can see the process. I mean,
and
reviews also help us a lot too. That's one of the things that Amazon has. If you review us on Amazon, if you get 50 reviews within 30 days, they start promoting your film. So that's something that I don't know if everyone knows about.
Yeah.
But if you can get people to review your film as well on the platform that they watched it on, it also boosts your visibility and definitely helps.
Well, it sounds like Cicada Song is going to be all over the place. So, I mean, it is all over the place, but
it is all over.
It's already getting all the accolades, and so definitely.
And we are about to be dubbed into 5 different languages too. We just got acquired by an Italian distribution company, and we'll get 5. We're not sure which 5 languages, but I'd love to hear myself speaking in Italian.
Exactly. I might have to watch
excited about that. I'm excited about that. So before IG Live cuts us off, because
they like to cut us off because
they limit us. We talk too much apparently. Before they cut us off, what's next for you individually, collectively? What's next?
Go ahead, Kim.
I am open to the next project. open and available. I've got a little trip coming up. It's my mom's birthday, so I'm heading to the East Coast to see my mom for her birthday and my dad. Yeah, we haven't, it's with the pandemic, I haven't been able to be there for her birthday for the past couple of years. So I've got a quick trip to the East Coast and stopping by New York City, so I'm available to work there as well too.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then back to LA for new headshots and open to new experiences.
Well, and we have lots of screenwriters and filmmakers who watch this on the replay and who are here. So yes. Kim Reed. I'm going to write.
Kim Reed.
Where can
hire her?
Yeah. Where can we follow you guys on social media?
Amazing. Well, wait. What's next for you, Michael?
Oh yeah, Michael. First,
tell us what's next.
Well, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm working on a screenplay that we are kind of moving into financing. We've done all the prep work, and now it's literally just move forward into the next step, which is, getting a line, getting in a set up investments and going after those investments. I'm working with Connie Zastapol, who, if you don't know who she is, look her up.
He actually fell in love with him. She was she judged the Highland Park Film Festival and just came up to us after the film, and we met her, and she's just so lovely and such a great person. Wonderful. And she wanted to work with Michael, so they started working together.
Wonderful. Champions. That's what it's really about.
We all need them.
Yeah, it's a thriller called The Shadow Between Us, which is currently a working title, but I like it. And it's basically David and Goliath story about a 10-year-old girl who stands up to her tyrannical father.
Nice.
Protect her sisters.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You guys are doing all the things. This has been so inspiring. I did find Kim, the Kim Reed. Michael, it's MichaelStarr Movies, maybe? Is that right?
Yeah, that's my Instagram. I also I'm on Facebook. You see my face. And Cicada Song's banner is on my banner.
Perfect.
You'll know it's me if you. But I think all in all, there's just project after project. Just keep writing, and when you're ready to shoot your movie, just make sure you hire the right people for the job.
Yeah, passion.
And appreciate them because gracious, gratitude, amazing.
Yeah,
all the things.
But I'm just excited to hear about your guys' future holidays with all the people in Missouri, because I feel like it became like a family almost.
Yeah, well, we were planning on screening the film in New Haven.
Oh, me.
Because we released Cicada Song right before the pandemic hit.
Oh, wow.
We were going to go to Missouri to screen in April, and that got shut down. So we really haven't. I mean, we've talked to some of the people out there, and
Arnold and Nancy, we would have.
Boy and like all those people, and the Western occasionally, but you can't do much these days. But now we possibly, with the world open again.
I joked that I wanted a red hay carpet. So if they could get some red hay, that's what I want to walk on.
You get some snazzy boots.
I love it.
It's amazing.
It.
Well, thank you guys for being here. This was
Michael,
amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for
being
here.
Having us. This is great. Thank you for sparking and making this happen.
Yeah, we want creatives to be inspired by other creatives. And just when Louisa told me that you guys were going to come on, we were already talking about all the things we were doing. And, we geek out about this stuff. We're all trying to do the same thing. And it's exciting to see somebody who's ahead in the process and what's possible. And we're all about
it was like a no-brainer, right? Because I was like, we were having dinner with the mutual friends celebrating our friend Heather's birthday, and I was like, why haven't I had you on? Like, this is like so dumb. What was I like? But I was just in it, like Rebecca and I go a mile a minute. Here's the next 10 people we want to have. Rebecca, go make some phone calls.
Rebecca,
she's good at that. She's really good at that.
I just don't have any. I just ask, and if they say no, then whatever.
Yeah.
So that's
Who
I
can
think
say
that's
no?
everything.
But you guys,
Say no to you two.
So
This
far,
is
we
great.
haven't gotten very many, so it's been really wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
but
Yeah.
everybody out there, you can make a movie. There's nothing stopping you, but think about what you're gonna do before you do it.
Yes.
Yeah, get solid in your pre-productions. The best advice: get solid in your pre.
Then expect those plans to just blown apart, and then make new plans.
But
Yeah,
laugh through it.
Right.
Gotta laugh through it. Just keep
Yeah.
going. Michael's greatest quote was, "This isn't life or death. We're just making a movie." So,
Amazing.
Perfect.
I love it.
That's
I love
amazing.
it. I love it.
Well,
Thank
we
you, you
are already
guys.
fans of you guys. I know Louisa was already a fan, but now you have a new fan, and I know everybody here is excited. People watching on the replay. Find Cicada Song on Amazon and all the other places. Follow the Kim Starr. The Kim Reed.
Kim Reed.
Follow
Kim
Michael
Reed.
Starr movies, and we would love to talk to you when you're in your next. In the documentary too.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have you back when you want to come out and tell us all the new things you're doing, because we already know. I see all the binders, and now I am going to spend the next weekend writing.
Rebecca has 30 scripts. She's a cranker. She's going to have she's going to have a bunch of binders with all of her stories.
I'm going to put them all in a binder now.
Yeah.
And try to manifest them that way. So
yeah.
Go make your movie.
Yeah.
Just go make your
Go
movie.
make your
Yeah.
movie.
And if you can do it.
Yeah.
If you what?
If you can do a feature, do it.
Yeah.
I'm inspired now because
know.
we're working on this short, but now I'm just like,
I know, because you guys, I mean, you don't have to share if you don't want to. I know not a lot of people don't like to share, but like All In, what did you make Cicada Song for? Or tell me to mind my business.
No, basically, look, we don't necessarily like to do, and most filmmakers don't like.
Most people don't, yeah.
And I am one of them.
But you were a scale of economy, right?
It was an indie feature.
We did it on a SAG ultra low budget.
Yeah.
But we also had a lot of favors, and we did it outside of California. And, basically it all comes down to, if you get the documentary on the DVD and Blu-ray, kind of tell you all the secrets of how we did it, but obviously not for the cost. But you don't have to spend a lot to make something good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the message for me anyway, as a screenwriter trying to turn into a filmmaker producer, is just this: it's possible.
Yeah.
I think I was like, oh, I'll just do a short because that's what's possible. But any of this is possible. It's just
right.
It's possible.
In mind,
and what I love about what happened to you guys is that you manifested, we were going to do this thing, and the stars just aligned, right?
Yeah.
Like the universe was like, oh, that's what you want to do? Well, here, let me put some things in your path, right? And it's just beautiful.
But here's the thing. Our film is 73 minutes long. It's not 90 minutes. It's not 85. We won a festival that, everybody says you got to have 90 minutes or 85 to get distributed, blah, blah, blah. We're kind of the proof that you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Screenplay
because it's good.
I think you have to have a good story. It's really what it
It
is.
has to be good.
But just keep in mind that the screenplay was only 68, 69 pages, right?
No.
We didn't. So the more screenplay you have, the more you're going to spend.
Yeah.
If you can make a tight story, something that's worth, without wasting anyone's time, just make it tight, make it good, do it for as little as you possibly can. If you have great actors available to you,
Yeah.
We used SAG, but there's no law that says you have to. But
we were able to blend. We were able to do some SAG and some non-SAG together.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Make
Would
it
have loved
tight
to have
and
been
make
all
it
SAG,
good.
but you know.
yeah,
Sure.
but now you're increasing the budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This has been inspiring and helpful, and I think follow these guys, and we can't wait to see what's next for you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Us
you.
too.
Yeah.
Guys.
And Instagram is literally going to cut us off, so we will say goodbye. But so that we all smile now.
So we all
Thanks,
smile.
Rebecca.
Thank
Thanks, Louisa.
Hi, thank you for
welcome.
coming.
Bye.
All the
Thanks for
best,
coming.
everybody out there. Just
So good.
Keep
do well,
creating,
be well.
everybody.
Creating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.